Good evening, council members. My name is Hannah Buell, and I stand before you today representing the Nebraska Family Council. And I know that I spoke with several of you before this meeting, and I want to thank you again for that time that I had with you. I really appreciated it, and I appreciate your perseverance tonight, because it looks like we'll still be going for a while. But I wanted to stand up and say today, you've heard people tell you that in other jurisdictions where they have passed these types of laws, that they have not faced any sort of litigation. Unfortunately, that is not true. And I've done a large amount of research on all the different types of ordinances such as this in other cities, other states, and even other countries. But for the sake of time, I'm only going to give you 5 cases that happen right here in the United States as potential cases that could come if this ordinance is passed. The first one is Crystal Dixon. She is an African-American woman. She was the Associate Vice President of Human Resources at the University of Toledo in Ohio. And she was fired for exercising her First Amendment right to write a column to her newspaper. And in that column, she was writing as a private citizen, but she expressed disagreement with a bill, an ordinance similar to this, and expressed her disagreement in that forum. She was fired for this. She filed a lawsuit because of that, and the judge threw out her lawsuit because, in his words, he said, the damage she did to her ability to perform her job and to the university provide ample justification for her termination. So that's one type of lawsuit that could come as a result of this. An employee who is fired for exercising their opinion outside of their workplace environment. I have copies of all of these for you if you'd like them as well, that we can give into the record. Another example, the second one, is a biology professor in California. He was fired because during class, he was asked by a student, he was teaching a class on human heredity, and he was asked by a student how heredity affects homosexuality. And he gave an example of a German scientist who had found a correlation between maternal stress during pregnancy and later homosexual behavior in males. And he referenced that later on in the course that they were going to be talking about genes and environmental factors that influence homosexuality. A student in his class took offense to how he approached this and filed a complaint with the college, calling Professor June Sheldon, calling her comments offensive and unscientific. She was fired for this and is no longer working at this university. So that's another type of lawsuit that could be levied if this ordinance is passed, where someone, while they're on the job expressing an opinion, can get fired for their opinion in that situation. Another potential lawsuit is one that happened in Virginia. A private businessman, his name is Tim Bono. He owned a business called Bono Film and Video, and he was approached by a lesbian woman to duplicate a couple of documentaries on homosexuality. And on his website, he states that his company does not copy material that is obscene or could embarrass employees, hurt the company's reputation, or material that otherwise runs counter to the company's Christian values. So that was a stated policy that he had. The Virginia Human Rights Commission forced him to either copy the videos himself or pay for someone else to copy those films. So this is another type of situation that could arise if this gets passed, where a business owner, where a business owner is forced to provide services that he believes run counter to his beliefs. Another example was the city of Berkeley, California. They decided to take away the nonprofit benefit to the Boy Scouts, or rather their affiliate, the Sea Scouts, and using their marina at their city facility. And the Boy Scouts filed a lawsuit, and the Supreme Court declined to hear that lawsuit, so they are no longer able to use that facility. That's a nonprofit example. And then the last example is a business whose employee did an on-the-job transition from male to female, and through a series of events fired the employee. and then the business was required to reinstate them, pay back pay, and as well as all the attorney fees. So these are some examples of different types of cases that could be levied in this city if this ordinance passes. Thank you.
Question from Ms. Buell. Thank you.
All right. I have copies.
You can just give them
if
to
you'd like
our clerk right there.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker